initiative, and I completely support it. I think it does, and I take Councillor Leach's point as well about making sure that we commit to this and do everything we can to try and continue with it, depending on obviously the results that we get coming back. But I think it is a real opportunity to underpin the work that we're already doing with our partners in CDS, CAB, Fusion, and others. And I think also may well be something that we can use in trying to re-energise links meetings and the collaboration that we might have with parish and town councils. So for all of those reasons, I think it's a really good initiative, and I wish you well and look forward to the reports coming back. Any other debate, members? In which case we'll move to a vote. All in favour?
Unanimous, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Luscombe. Thank you, Councillor Leach. The next item is in relation to the housing crisis. The papers again have been circulated. The paper is headed Housing Crisis Development and Enabling, and in Councillor Ratcliffe's absence, I should give a brief introduction. The report that you have in front of you, members, is updating on the progress of the Housing Crisis Declaration from an affordable housing and best use of stock perspective. The delivery of affordable housing is looking positive, with 161 new affordable homes being delivered in the last 5 years, and with a further 99 planned for 2022 to 2024. The future pipeline is also looking positive, but it is more difficult to be certain of the number of homes being completed and when these will come forward beyond 2024. This is in part due to potential shortages with materials and labour. We are certainly performing well in the Thriving Towns and Villages area of the Joint Local Plan and are starting to see some additional units being delivered as a result of Live West strategic partnership funding. For example, at Cullington Road, where viability could only produce 17% of affordable housing, that figure has already increased to 23% as part of the additionality funding, which relates to open market homes purchased by Live West and provided as an affordable home. We will continue to make best use of the stock using our incentives and continue to work with our partners to identify people who could downsize or be moved to more appropriate accommodation for their needs. Finally, I'd like to add that the closing date has passed with regards to applications for job vacancies to provide additional capacity within the team, and interviews for the Housing Needs Officer will commence on the 18th of July. So I'm very grateful to have Mr. Riyard here to assist, but do members have any questions on the report? Councillor Cheadle.
If I may, I'm not expecting you to know the answer to this, but it occurred to me as I was reading the paper. What's the relationship between affordable homes in West Devon and affordable homes in Dartmoor National Park? The reason I ask that question is Yelverton, for example, is a village, half of which is in the national park and half of which is in West Devon. And if you live in Yelverton, does it matter which half of Yelverton you live in? Do you have access to the sort of Dartmoor National Park affordable housing market, but not the West Devon one? Or do we consider the park's affordable housing as part of the sort of housing area? Does the question make sense?
It's always been a tricky one with Dartmoor National Park because of the local connection criteria that they apply. However, we have generally just applied it to the whole of the parish because kids tend to go to school within the park or they've got their employment within Dartmoor National Park. So it just gets too difficult to try to take little bits like Crapstone that don't fall within Devon National Park out of that equation, if that makes sense. So we just kind of like try to ignore it, if I'm being completely honest, Councillor Cheadle.
Well, the point behind the question actually is how you add the numbers up. So if there was an affordable housing development being built in a part of Yelverton that wasn't in West Devon, and that's about to happen, they be included in the figures of affordable housing coming forward, or would they be excluded? So it's a sort of, it's a proper question, if I can put it that way.
So I'll use that Crapstone example. What's delivered in Crapstone will be counted as joint local plan figures in the TTV area. However, for meeting affordable housing need on land registers, we include it as a whole. So the figures that are reported at the 161 units, that also includes Tradford in there, which obviously falls within Dartmoor National Park as well.
Right. So these figures here include the affordable homes being developed in the park.
Yes.
And people can apply to live in those regardless of whether they live in the park or West Devon.
They can. We would look at local connection at a later date for them.
Thank you. Councillor Mott.
Sorry, I'm going to ask a follow-up to that one then. So if it's built within the national park, are those homes then effectively counted twice, once within national park numbers and once within ours? I think that's kind of what Councillor Cheadle is asking in a way, isn't it?
No, they're not. You get they're counted in a way through what we're looking at the